Trump breaking news. Republican Liz Cheney backs Kamala Harris. Former Republican Representative Liz Cheney, deputy head of the House Select Committee that examined the January 6, 2021, Capitol attack, told Duke University attendees Wednesday that she will vote for Democratic nominee Kamala Harris in November. Harris spoke in Northampton, New Hampshire, about her proposals to support small businesses while former President Donald Trump had a town hall-style gathering in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, with Sean Hannity. The taped event airs Wednesday night. For much of the 2024 election, questions over President Joe Biden's age and job performance obscured Americans' long-standing fears about Donald Trump's character, chaos, and authoritarianism. Despite months of Democrats focusing on democracy and the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack, which shattered the democratic principle of a peaceful transfer of power, many polls showed Biden had little to no advantage on which candidate was more trusted to protect democracy. As with many other aspects of the contest, Biden's withdrawal and Vice President Kamala Harris's arrival have changed the threat matrix, making fear again a serious issue for Trump. Harris seems to have an advantage if this race is about Americans caring about candidates damaging the country. CNN polling captures this better than anything else in recent weeks. As CNN has before, the swing state poll asked if respondents considered the candidates too extreme. But then it asked people who felt that a candidate was too extreme if they were also so extreme that they pose a threat to the country. In 6 swing states, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, 54% of registered voters felt Trump was too extreme, and 48% said he threatened the country. At least half of voters in each state said Trump was too extreme, and 46% said he was a national threat. Harris had far lower numbers. 44% said she was too extreme, and 39% said she was a threat to the country. Few states saw her as extremist, most saw her as generally mainstream. Similarly, nearly half, average 47%, of independent voters feel Trump is a threat to the country, compared to 38% for Harris. Republicans were much more likely to view their candidate as extremist and a threat to the nation. Trump had 14% of his party say he was too extreme and 7% say he was a threat, compared to Harris's 6% and 2%. An average of 3% of Trump supporters in these states stated he was so radical that he was a threat to the country, but they still voted for him, possibly because they didn't view the threat as severe or because they still preferred him. This is the largest recent survey on how people evaluate the candidate's risks, but it's not the first to suggest Trump is a bigger concern or that half the country views him as a threat. Last month, Syracuse University/Ipsos found that 43% of Americans thought Trump was a severe threat to the American democratic system and rule of law, and 11% a slight threat. Harris was considered a serious, 32%, or minor, 8%, threat by 4 in 10. These findings show a considerable change in the perceived dangers of the two major party candidates since Biden led the Democratic ticket. As indicated above, being a threat to democracy was less successful than Democrats intended. Public religion research found similar results late last year. 57% called Trump a threat to American democracy and way of life, while 53% called Biden. It's unclear how important this is. The CNN poll's Trump threat designation was just under a majority, suggesting predisposed voters. However, majorities feel he's too extreme, and his numbers are far higher than Harris's. That shows Harris can use fear to turn out voters, unlike Trump.